Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of running a childcare program, okay? I've been in this game, in this industry for over 13 years. My mom has been in this game, in this industry for over 24 years. And so going from a family-based childcare program to running childcare centers and being a multi-site owner, I done seen a lot, okay? So if you're thinking about it and you really want to know what goes on as the owner director, stay tuned to the end of this video because I am going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of running a childcare program on a day-to-day. Let's get into it. Like anything in our space, y'all know I love to sprinkle all of my great good energy to all of my childcare providers out there, all of my aspiring childcare providers out there, guys. So y'all know I'm gonna start off with the positive, okay? Because it's always about perspective. So one of the things I love, the benefits I would say of operating a childcare program or just being a childcare owner is obviously the first one is going to be the impact. And I know that sounds like so cliche for me to say that, but I have literally seen children just the other day. I had a child stop past our childcare center and I just happened to be there, and she's now going to the 3rd grade. I had her when she was 3 years old. Impact, okay? If we didn't do any kind of impact or any kind of relationship, people think impact gotta be huge, but you build relationships with these families, you build relationships with the children. And so the impact that we make in the lives of families and the lives of children, the help that we give, I mean, you'd be surprised. It doesn't always have to be about, you know, what the dollar amount is. Sometimes we go far above and beyond as childcare providers, you know, providing extra clothes, providing things done for their hair, providing extra resources for families who may not have it. So the impact as a owner is one of the far by most greatest things of being a childcare owner, because you will see when you graduate children and they go to kindergarten and 1st, 2nd, 3rd, we got 12th graders that have literally not only just graduated from the 12th grade, we're almost on like the 4th generation now. We've had 2 kids that have literally graduated this past spring from college. This is beautiful. We have children that may have had reading problems, reading concerns, math problems. They're growing. So it's always about the impact, obviously, is one of the first great things I love about being a childcare provider, because we interact with so many people every day. All right, one of the other great things I love about being a childcare owner and running a childcare business is this space of understanding how your business is impacting that community, okay? And I never really thought that that was a big deal, but you're impacting the community, not just by the children coming into your center, but you're impacting the community by hiring people, right? Like, you're responsible for the livelihood of others. You're putting food on the table for the livelihood of others. Like, that's a major, you know, weight that you wear on your shoulder. But I feel amazing on payroll day when I give out checks or checks are deposited and I know that this is helping someone else sustain their life, you know, sustain their life for their children and their family. So I love that space of impacting and what we can do for the community. Just this past, what month are we in? Just this past 2 months ago, we literally gave out a $5,000 scholarship. Like, I'm glad to be in a position to give out a $5,000 scholarship for someone that's going to college that's also lost their parent, right? So this is an extension of our Darling Mrs. Daddy book. You know, if someone has lost a parent, why? Because my father was killed. So I love the fact that I can give back. I love the fact that we can do book bag drives and coat drives and turkey giveaways. Like, how are you impacting the community? Make sure that you're bringing value to people in the community. That's a great thing about being not just a business owner, but being a child care owner, because your stamp in your neighborhood matters. Okay, so make sure you're bringing value, that you're not just there to suck up and figure out how much money can you make. No, it's about value and it's about impact as well. All right, so my last tip that I would say that I love about being a child care owner is obviously it's a lucrative business, right? So many people, that's why some people want to open child care centers. It is a very lucrative business if done right. I'm gonna repeat that again. It's a very lucrative business if it's done right, okay? So you have to make sure that as you're growing in the space of being an entrepreneur, you're gonna see what works, what doesn't work. You know, it's not an overnight success, but it definitely can be a lucrative business if done right. For you to be able to create the life that you want, for you to be able to get some freedom, it is that it is, but it doesn't mean I'm giving this disclaimer that it will happen overnight. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes dedication, but as long as you are committed to the end result, you will see it through. I can definitely tell you that. So obviously it's a lucrative business. All right, guys, so now y'all know we get ready to get into some of the bad, we get ready to get into some of the ugly, but again, it's all about perspective and how you look at these things, because let me tell you something, running a business is hard. Any business is hard, right? But you got to figure out, even though it's hard, how can I deal with this? How can I master this? How can I learn this? Obviously, right? So one of the first things that can obviously be a challenge and a difficulty as a childcare business owner is maintaining the regulatory compliance. Okay, the compliance from the paperwork, the staffing, the hours, the signage, the supervision, the safety. That obviously can be, you know, something that's a challenge for us as a childcare provider, and all of the administrative burdens, the paperwork, and operating a childcare business. And I'm not just saying operating any childcare business. Operating a high quality childcare program, especially with the paperwork, can be overwhelming. So if you're a childcare provider like me, we got multiple people we got to answer to. You got to answer to the health department. You got to answer to the state in and of itself, the people that give you your certificate. You might have to answer to the accreditation program. They might got their own timeline and they got their own deadline on when you got to turn things in for them. You might also got to meet other things such as, you know, expansion and or grants you may have, or loans that you may have received. It can be an administrative burden running a high quality childcare program, and it doesn't have to be only high quality in your center. I know plenty of bomb family-based childcare programs, okay? Because we were one. That's how we've learned everything we know, by being a family-based childcare provider, starting small and then growing, okay? But the administrative burden is something that not so many people talk about, but it's like, how can I get a handle on this? Right? So those are some of the challenges that I would just say that people don't necessarily talk about, you know, when thinking about being a childcare owner. All right, guys, my next one is going to be staff management. Y'all see my face? Staff management, okay? So that is going to be another one, obviously, just because managing people is hard. And if you've never been a leader, like, you may have worked with people, you may have had a business that you don't got everyday interactions, but learning how to be a great leader, learning how to lead others, which is a really great leader, you know, it's a challenge and it's a learning curve, like, learn it, okay? So that's one of the great things that I will always say, is that it's always been a challenge to manage people and teach other people, right? Because sometimes you want to be that entrepreneur, like, look, I'll just do it, I know I'm gonna get it done, but that limits you and that hinders you from success, growth, and expansion. So you have to learn how to manage others. You have to learn how to lead others. You have to learn how to set your expectations. You have to learn how to create accountability for people. You have to learn how to create teamwork and a thriving culture and community in your childcare facility. And that can be a really hard job, and that can take time. Okay, so that is one of the challenges that I always say is staff managing, hiring, and firing. I remember the first time I ever had to fire my first person, I was sweating. Y'all, I was sweating for like hours because I was so scared to do it because I had never did it before. But that's the process of learning. Every single thing that's ever been a challenge for me in just operating and running a childcare business has taught me something for the next business, okay? So it's a part of the process. That's what I always love to call it. All right, guys, the next one is going to be, one of the things I would say is a good and or con bad, is that the commitment of the time. Okay, so when you have what we love to call a brick and mortar businesses require your physical presence. Okay, you can have the idea and the concept that you think, oh, I'm gonna start this childcare business. I don't want to be too hands-on. I'm just gonna hire people and put them in place. Okay, yes, that will happen, but that does not mean that's going to happen initially straight onward. I am a very transparent, a very real person, and one of the things I always tell people, anybody, especially in our Childcare Startup University course, which is where I teach people how to start their childcare business. It's a self-paced course, but we also have our CEO circle where we go live every single week. And one of the things I tell people is, yes, you can put people in place, but how you gonna put people in place and you don't even know all the places to put them? How you gonna put people in place and you don't know the roles that's needed? You don't even know what it takes for that role to get done effectively. You don't even know what it takes for that role to get done properly. So make sure you understand that when you start a childcare business, you're going to be in there if at least you care that much. I don't know. I can't say what everybody else want to do. I'm just speaking for myself. But only thing I'm saying simply is the time commitment that it takes to be there every day, all day, to be able to make sure you find the right staff. You find the right people that fit your mission and your vision for your childcare program, because every single program standard and expectation is different. So understand the time that you have to be there, because let me tell you something. Somebody leaves your business today or tomorrow. You don't got somebody else to fill that role. Who got to be there? Okay, so it's always a time commitment thing, I would say, especially early on. When I was a young owner at 20, I started jumping into the childcare business with my mom at 20 years old. And I thought that it was a 9 to 5. And she quickly checked me and reminded me, like, Dominique, this is not a 9 to 5. Like, this is not, oh, I come in at 9 and I'm done at 5. No. As an entrepreneur, whether you're there all the time or not, you're constantly working. I remember I literally just went to go get my nails done the other day. And the young lady was doing my nails. She was like, oh, I said, oh, I like y'all new chairs. It was like new pedicure chairs. She was like, yeah, they was in here till 3 in the morning. That's grit. That's determination. That's not, oh, I could just get somebody in place to get it done. Sometimes as a small-based childcare provider or just an entrepreneur in general, you are learning. You may not have money to do all of the simple, put people in place, but we love to show on social media all the time, right? This is real. So you really, really want to make sure you understand the time that it takes to start, learn, and then grow. All right, guys, and my last one I'm going to say is, let's talk about the financial reality. Okay, the initial investment that's upfront initially to get your business started, especially if you're going the center route, whether you're leasing a building, whether you're owning a building, right? So understand that initial investment costs, right? The profitability of your business, hoping that things take off. You could have did all the market research in the world, but you ain't gonna know until you actually get your doors licensed and open, was this a good decision, right? Another thing is always the cash flow management. That's hard. The cash flow management can be a con. It can be the ugly truth. Some months you're going to be running it up. And then some months you're going to be like, Dad, where everybody at? Kids may get sick. Parents may lose their subsidy, right? Children may move away. Parents may not have the funds anymore to keep that tuition going and flowing. So the cash flow can always be a challenge. And then you got to take into effect all the unpredicted expenses. Okay, that things happen, things break, things need to get fixed in between, seasons and days and things like that. I remember verbatim, our first day of school, maybe last year, everything was good and clean and floor shining and all that. And what happened? Our whole entire upstairs started raining in the inside. We needed a brand new roof. A brand new roof cost almost like $20,000. What I'm gonna do? Gotta get the job done, right? So these are unexpected expenses that sometimes we don't account for that can be a con, because let's be honest, you're starting your business and you're trying to make a profit back. But while you're also trying to make your profit back, you're also trying to pay yourself a little bit. You're also might be breaking even, then you got staff. So it's so many things when it comes to the financial reality. And I always want to make this disclaimer is that when you start your business, be okay with the fact that you may not actually make a profit your first 2 to 3 years in business. Be okay with breaking even. Be okay with reinvesting back into your business, because that's a real thing. Okay, so those are my tips. If you love these tips, and make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you're looking for my coaching services, please check out educatedminds.com, where we offer a plethora of coaching. So you can book me one-on-one, pull up on me, call me directly, get a Zoom, okay? You can always join into our monthly coaching, which is the CEO Circle. That is my favorite and newest coaching program with my mom and I, where we meet live every single week in the CEO Circle, or you can take any one of the classes and courses that we have, from HR to online to starting a childcare-based program. Check out all of our resources at www.educatedminds.com. Until next time.